Yeah, it's dark.
The moon landing happened, Jake.
Real dad shit, dog.
Don't fuck with me or I'ma fuck with you.
For all the emo sad girls, I want to touch bellies with this man.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you saw Jake point out the two sides trophy we have behind us.
Oh wait, what? Hold on.
Two sides trophy.
Oh yeah. Look.
Oh,
look at there.
I thought you meant like a literal trophy. I was like, where'd you get a T-SOM trophy?
Oh, it's drumhead.
We'll take a two sides trophy too. Like that.
I'll take
Dude,
one.
look at my busted ass handwriting. I'm the one that wrote T-SOM. It looks so stupid.
It don't matter. You're not supposed to be able to understand signatures and stuff like that.
Oh no, yeah, Tony's got like the coolest signature out of all of us, I think.
I don't think so.
Yours looks like you practiced it.
I did practice.
Should I do that?
A long time. Yeah.
It's sick. It's like an alligator eating scribbles. I love it.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I like that.
So we have some special guests with us today. We got EJ and Tony from Two Sides of Me. The first question I got to give EJ real quick. EJ, how blessed have you felt today to have your birthday fall on election day?
I don't know if you saw somebody. Do you know Full Metal Alchemist, the show?
Yeah, I'm aware of its existence. I've never seen it, unfortunately.
So there's a meme of two of the characters doing like a handshake. They're both like really huge, like muscular guys doing a handshake. It's like a scene from the show. And Brendan from Full Time Fraud wrote Eli, and then on one side it says no. What does it say? It says one side Eli, and then the other side says Election Day. So it's like, is it Eli Day or is it Election Day?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that was probably the best happy birthday I've gotten so far. That was sick.
That's sick. Well, guys, welcome to the show. It's crazy to me that this is y'all's first time on the show, right? I know I've interviewed Tony, and interviewed with Tony in the past.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that was a long time ago.
Unofficial like podcast host for like a week or something.
Yeah, it was good times.
It was cool.
But yeah, and EJ, this is the first time you and I have actually really spoken outside of Hey, What's Up at shows. So welcome formally.
Same.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah. So I want to jump right into the new single because Jake and I were actually just talking before we even started recording, and I was like, we do live in a world where Follow You Into the Grave is the best Two Sides of Me song in existence. And I think it's the world we live in right now. You never answered my question, though, whether or not you thought it was also your favorite song by them.
Yeah, Jake, what's your favorite T-SOM, huh? Put you to the test.
I don't know.
I even gave you a list to choose from, so you don't have to think too hard about it.
I think currently, yeah, it's my favorite.
Yeah. You said it was the most polished song by them.
It definitely feels that way.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will also accept every song. Me. I produce it. We all produce everything self-house or in-house.
Yeah. No, I see that joke didn't land. I knew you produced it and mixed and mastered it and all that, but it sounded like a formal interview question.
The way you said it, you were like, so like who produced it? And I was like, my time to shine, baby.
He's been waiting for this moment his whole life.
It was me.
So I actually wrote down here, I said, Tony, writing, mix, and mastering wizard. And I also listed some bands I know you've worked with. I'm sure there's a lot more, but you worked with Thin the Herd and Catapult City, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
I only going off of Spotify credits, and I know that there's more than that, but I just wanted to give you a chance to kind of talk about how that's been for you and how you've been enjoying that, the writing and producing lifestyle.
Oh, it's great. I mean, you can ask EJ, but like all I do is eat, sleep, and work. So I
play
just
Rocket League.
And like Rocket League breaks, of course, but I pretty much like live and breathe like music. Like it's my full-time job now, like to produce. So I'm constantly here in the studio just like working on new stuff or working with other bands, but it's great. It's like what I've always wanted to do, and we're doing it now.
Yeah, I think it's cool too because like being in the band with him, I can see him getting better. over time. You know what I mean? Like he's always been good to me.
Yeah.
But like I can just see him getting even better working with like different styles of music.
He's definitely gotten better.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. You guys stop it.
So
okay, keep going.
Is it time that we throw your name in the hat with the Mick Gordons and the Jordan Fishes?
Oh, absolutely not, bro. I appreciate it, but nah, those guys are like the top of the top.
I'm just saying, there's not a whole lot of like god tier producers out there, and you, from what I've heard, the work that you've done, it sounds like that you are either there now or you're going to be very soon. I think that you've done very.
I always tell them like if we do end up doing the band thing like to the extent we want to, he's going to be the next Cody Quinstead.
I'll take
him too.
Whatever I can get, bro.
Like whether it's producing or writing, like I can see a world where he's writing everybody's songs.
The Tyler Smith from Danger Kids too. That's another big one.
Yeah. Tyler Smith. He's great. No, but like everything's been great. Like both with this song and all the stuff we've been working on lately, like we've had a pretty great workflow. We've kind of like found our dynamic, and we just kind of like started clicking with everything that we work on. And so like EJ and I do a lot of back and forth because he lives far away.
Yeah, I live in Richmond. It's about 2 hours and 45 minutes from where we are right now in Bedford.
So like we do a lot of virtual writing, back and forthing. We'll like Skype and work on stuff, and then sometimes when he's in town, then we can like actually like be in the same room and work, which is ideal, but you don't always get what you want. You just kind of got to make it work.
Yeah.
But everything's been great with that, and like the songs are coming out really sick, and I think we're just like finally hitting that mark, you know.
Yeah, I'm really glad you guys are able to do this. Well, you're able to do this kind of full time now and really put the work in, because I feel like for a while everybody was kind of getting held back a little bit with trying to juggle an actual job and not really having the time or feeling burnt out and not really wanting to do it. But
I feel like that's an example with a lot of bands too. Like look at how much Dayseeker like spread their wings after Rory quit his job, because he worked at like I want to say he was like an optometrist's assistant or something like that. And he had like a really good paying job, but I remember when he posted about it that he was moving full time into music, and I feel like that's when Dayseeker like really got serious. So
When
I
was
know
that?
What's that?
When did he post that he quit?
I think it was right before or right after Sleep Talk came out.
Oh yeah.
That album shot them way up.
That's what I'm saying. I think that was when he quit his job too. I don't know if it was after the album had a chance to be successful or if it was like they just knew, but
it's probably why. I mean, like it's my favorite body of work that Dayseeker has ever done, and I'm a huge Dayseeker fan.
Yeah, man. If I made that album, I'd quit my job too.
Yeah, I think it shows though that he was in it like 100%. The songs reflected, I think, and I know he did a lot of like the instrumental stuff along with the producers he worked with too.
For sure. Tony, just going back a little bit, when you're writing and recording an album, so as the person that's also mix, mastering, producing, do you get a little ahead of yourself sometimes? Like, does that ever happen in the studio where you're like writing a riff and you're like, okay, but I'm going to think about how I'm going to mix that at the same time? And like, does that get stressful?
Yeah. No, that's how I like to work, because like by the time if I start writing a song, like I mix the song as I go. And then by the time I finish the song, it's like song's pretty much done. Like when I send them a new song, it's like pretty much done.
Yeah,
just needs vocals. Like I will sit and like write the entire song, like the entire 3-4 minute song, and I'll send it to them and be like, "Hey guys, here's a little idea I came up with tonight," and it's like a fully flushed out, like fully produced song.
Yeah.
So it makes things easy, actually.
So specifically, I want you guys to talk a little bit about Follow You Into the Grave and how that happened, what was recording that song like, and then if you want to add any of the mix and mastering nerdy stuff on there, Tony, go for it.
Well, that song came a little bit later in the process, like, because we've been stacking songs for a little while and kind of like getting a release plan together for the year. And that was one of the like last songs that we wrote.
It was. But when you sent it to us, so initially the like hook riff was different, and then that song he sent with the chorus already on it. So it kind of gave me like a vibe as to what to write about. You know what I mean? Like the chorus in itself is kind of like that breakup vibe, sort of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that just kind of gave me the idea for the rest of the song. But when he sent it, it was pretty much like 80% there.
Yeah, because like I wrote that song around the chorus. Like the chorus was like the first thing that came together, like with the vocal melodies and the lyrics too. And I left everything else blank. I just had like this metal song and then chorus and then like more metal. And I sent it to EJ and I was like, here's the lyrics I wrote, but I also wrote them so they were a little broad and more open-ended so he could still like steer the narrative of the song whichever way he wanted.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have to end up changing anything about the chorus lyrics. Like it just kind of all worked out.
Yeah. It was definitely, I think as soon as I got it, I was like, this is my favorite T-Som chorus. Like this is the best chorus I think we've ever had.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till the next one.
Oh yeah, until the one right after that. But we won't talk about that yet.
I mean, hey, you can if you want to, but
I will literally send you it.
You were wild, bro. Holy crap.
There are no rules.
Tony
We're not
hooks me
signed
up.
to a label. We're not on a label. We can do whatever we want. We run the shit, bro.
Speaking of not on a label, I know you like that the independent artists and choosing to be independent.
Oh
so.
yeah, that's the shit right there.
Because it just seems like you're so free. Like I'm not saying being on a label is a bad thing, right? I'm just a stupid podcaster. I don't actually know, but like I feel like the bands that are independent just seem more consistently happy when they talk about their music.
Oh yeah.
And
they make more money for sure.
Definitely, yeah. If you can
Like
get to the
step one.
point, like, let's say, like, Asking Alexandria, right? Let's say they were in the position that they are right now without a label, they would be swimming in dough.
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
absolutely swimming in dough.
Millionaires all around. The thing, what I think about labels is like everyone kind of has like a negative like view on labels, but labels can be good. It kind of depends on the deal. Like, but if you're a band with like 200,000 monthly listeners and you're solely independent, you're keeping all of that money. If
Right.
you are assigned to a label and you have a deal and you have that same amount of monthly listeners, you could be like signing away like 80% of that money,
Yeah.
you know? And so it's not enough to make a living off of. It's not really enough to like reinvest in the band. And especially if you're like a band that's like touring full time and you kind of need to make revenue from the band, then like independence, like so much better for that. But also like if you're signed to a label, you might get more opportunities that you wouldn't if you weren't on a label. Like they'll put you on sick tours. They got connections and, you know,
Yeah.
expose you to more people, this and that. But like I feel like if you have the ability to and you're willing to take the extra time, because it's going to take a lot longer sometimes to get bigger and to find more people when you're independent, because you kind of got to figure it out
You
yourself.
don't have all the resources that labels have.
But if you
Yeah.
take your time, like over time, like the end goal, like it's much better being independent because you're in control of everything. You own everything. You know, it's a business.
Yeah.
You know?
You just have to be able to build those connections and solve all those problems yourself. That's all.
Yeah.
it is.
There's nothing saying that you could not form the connections that labels have yourself. No one's
Yeah.
saying you can't do that. It's just about, you know,
Might take longer.
yeah,
It's a
it
lot
might
of
take a
work.
little bit longer. You may have to work for it a little bit more, but it's still very much possible.
Oh,
So.
yeah. I very clearly, because like there's no like line there. You don't put on a Two Sides of Me song and go, yeah, that's just an independent band. They sound, the quality of the music itself does not matter at all. And I've heard that take before where it's like, you can tell when a band's not signed to a record label because of the music. And it's like, no, you can't. Not in 2024
Not anymore.
at least.
Yeah.
Not in
no.
this day and age, no sir. But yeah, thank you for that. That means a lot to hear from, you know, somebody. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, you could definitely very much do the thing without a label and uphold that same quality standard. Like the internet has everything you need.
Yeah.
True.
And y'all just have some very talented dudes in your band. Like in general, like I couldn't even sit here and tell you what each of your talents are necessarily. Like I know obviously Tony, and then I know you're vocally insane, but EJ, but I don't know. You just meet you guys. I walk in a room with you guys and it's like, they got this shit. Like they have it figured out. At least
you.
to a high degree. So
We've you know, we're always like trying to like figure ourselves out and like just be more efficient.
Yeah.
everyone has their own roles, their own skill sets, and we utilize them, and everyone has their own individual roles. Like I like produce and do a lot of the writing and mixing and stuff. EJ helps with a lot with the writing as well, but more vocally as well. Like he pulls a lot of the weight on vocals now. Like it used to be more split, but I feel like he's kind of like handles the vocals a lot more, the lyrics. He also runs all of our social media. Like he makes content and videos. Like he runs that, and that is amazing because I hate doing that. So I'm so glad that he handles it.
I love it.
I don't have to think about it. I don't have to wake up and be like, I got to make a post on Instagram. Like he handles it, and he handles it well. And
thank you.
Yeah, we have like Shane. I've dedicated Shane to be like the band accountant because he's the best with numbers and money. And so we're like, this is your realm. You handle it. Like everyone has their own, like, you know, their own little like job in the band.
Yeah. I think it's important that we can rely on each other.
You just sit Johnny down behind the kit and be like, here you go.
Dude, and I also feel like with Johnny, I feel like he's the type of guy that's like, okay, there's like an altercation or some argument going on. Send Johnny in because he'll just be like, hey, everyone, you know, dude, let's all hug it out.
Yeah, that's 100% on brand for Johnny.
He's the good vibes guy.
Yeah. I think he's usually more often than not the tiebreaker when we vote on stuff too. Like if there is, or like he always comes in with some insight. Johnny's the wisest person I know. And
he's so friendly. Like everyone, I've never met someone that was like, I can't stand that Johnny guy. Like he's just friends with everyone.
Literally everybody. Yeah. Yeah. He's like the one everyone remembers the most.
I've gotten to know Johnny and Tony the best. Unfortunately, I haven't had as much time with the rest of you, but just being in y'all's presence has been a very like the vibes are great, you know.
Thanks. Yeah, I still call him Anthony all the time.
Yeah,
Anthony.
We were talking about that at the show. Yeah, like there's only a few people.
Yeah, you were pre-Tony era, Jake. That's how far we go back, bro.
Pre-Tony era. Pre-Two Sides of Me era.
See, I was there for that era, but I didn't like talk to anyone back then, so I didn't know there was an era change.
Yeah. People just started calling me Tony, and it was like...
Anthony's a lot to say.
Anthony's very formal. But one day, my friends just started calling me Tony. And at first I was like, I don't like this. And then like the next time they started doing it, I was like, whatever. No.
There's still some people that call me Jacob.
Yes. Yeah, and it weirds me out every time I hear it.
Jake. It's
one people syllable. Call you Jake as well?
Yeah.
Jake.
Yeah, some that's what I know. Call me Jake, some are Jacob.
I feel like Jake and Jacob can be two different names. So I'm like, I don't want to just walk up to somebody and call them Jake. You know, if their name's Jacob.
There's two totally different vibes that kind of account for those names.
Yeah. So I want to get into the tour that y'all just finished with What Lies Below, because we were fortunate enough to get to see the Lido show. We got to hang out with y'all a little bit, talk to y'all. But overall, just before we get into that show itself, let's talk about the tour. How was it? How was touring with What Lies Below and those guys?
The tour was a lot of fun. I had a great time. And that was our first time meeting them too. Like we like other bands we've toured with, we kind of like already had met before. We had never met these guys. We were just like, hey, these guys have cool music. Let's hit them up and see if they want to tour. So like day one show was like our first time meeting. But the whole tour was so fun.
They were very kind. They were very kind to us, like off the rip, straight, like offered us beers, like just hanging out, came up, talked to us. It was cool. It was really, really cool. The vibes are great all around. It is weird meeting a band for the first time, like in a, I guess, business sense, if you want to call it that. You know what I mean? Not just like at a show or something, but you know, we made it work.
Were y'all fans of the music before you met them, or was this kind of like did it all happen at the same time?
No, yeah, because before we even thought about touring them, I think EJ, it was you that sent me like one of their songs. I was like, these guys are sick, and they're not from like that far away. They're from PA. And I was like, it would be sick. We should like play with them sometime, or like maybe hit them up to tour. Ha ha ha. And then like,
that's what I did. I literally slid into their DMs and I was like, hey, you guys want to do a run?
Yeah. And then, like later that year, we actually were like, hey, do you guys actually want to tour? Because We're gonna do one.
Yeah, I feel like that's how it usually is, though. The majority of the bands that we've played with and or toured with, I'm just friends with on Facebook somehow. Like even before I joined TSOM, so it's like every tour has just been me sliding into their DMs. Like, you want to play some shows? Like,
yeah,
it's very not formal at all.
But hey, that's how I book guests for the podcast too now. I mean, I just feel like that's becoming more normal, is to just have like a non-formal interaction with someone and be like, hey, I think this would be cool. Do you think this would be cool? Because if you think it's going to be cool, we should do it.
Yeah.
I hate when bands or like just entertainers in general have this like unreachable kind of like status. Like, I can't slide into your DMs and say what's up or like ask you a question or something. You know what I mean? Like, I like when bands are just available to everybody. And I know that can be stressful sometimes, but I think it's cool. That's how I would want to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like that's how even a lot of the bigger, like huge names out there are. Like, I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't off the cusp. But a lot of people will just talk to fans, like Garrett from Silent Planet. I mean, he is the most reachable guy in metalcore, and they've gotten pretty big over the last year. So I know it's obtainable. It's just, it could also be like a personality thing. Some people enjoy that interaction. Some people can get overloaded with that, but
yeah, it's definitely a case by case thing for sure.
So I want to talk about the Lido show, because that shit went so hard.
The pizza show. That's what everyone refers to me as. They're like, hey, y'all played at the pizza spot. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I think
the pizza
who said
show
that last night? Was it Then the Herd?
No, it was Schuler.
Oh, yeah, the pizza show.
Yeah.
Weeping Wound played here last night, and I think Dylan, the singer, follows me on Instagram. So I walked up to him not thinking he would know who I am or anything. I was like, Mr. Weeping Wound. And he goes, Mr. Two Sides of Me. You guys just played Lido's Pizza, right? I was like, what?
Yeah.
I guess it's a big deal that we played Lido's, because I got a couple text messages like, are you guys really playing a Lido's Pizza? Like, yeah, is that weird?
I didn't think it was weird. I had fun. It worked out really well too.
So just to like set the stage for you guys a little bit, we went to see 3 concerts back to back to back that weekend.
Wow.
And I always get it confused. We went to the home team at the Canal Club. Then we went to Dayseeker in Raleigh. And then we went to see you guys at Lido's. And like the whole time leading up to that, I'm like, yo, I'm finna be moshing with a piece of pizza.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Tony was trying to get me to get a slice of pizza on stage and throw it at somebody.
No,
like
that was Jaylee.
Oh, was it Jaylee? Yeah, she like got me a slice of pizza. It wasn't like, I would have done it if it was a big slice, but it was like one of those little square ones.
Yeah.
So nobody would have seen it anyway. But we were trying to recreate the McChicken moment.
Yeah.
What the fuck is up, Lido's?
Yeah. Yeah, we had our own little Denny's moment.
Yeah, I was sick.
Yeah, that place was packed though. That was awesome. I would love to play. We've been looking for a place to play in Lynchburg because, as you know, like Lynchburg doesn't have any venues, but it's our hometown. So it's like, well, we have to do a hometown show. Where do we do it? And someone reached out to me and was like, hey, you want to like play at Lido's? I was like, why not? Sounds cool.
They used to do shows there. Like 5 years ago.
Yeah, didn't you say Saliva played there?
Yeah, one of my friends that I work with said he went and saw Saliva at Lido's.
Creed played there at one
No,
point.
not Trapped.
Trapped.
Not Creed, bro.
Oh,
Creed.
God, we talked about Creed a lot on that tour.
Yeah.
So. Trapped played there. So they did do shows a while back, but I think they had a metal show and it damaged the place, so they stopped.
Oh, see,
so it was.
I think it was Tony or Johnny was telling me about that, but I thought they were saying that it was you guys' crowd that damaged the building.
Oh, no.
Everyone was very respectful.
Yeah, and I had to make a point to like say that on stage too. I was like, we've never been here before. This place is way nicer than anywhere we've played before. So like, let's take care of it. But they took a huge risk with letting us perform there. So we're very thankful about that. And maybe one day.
Did you get the vibes that they'd want you to come back? Because that'd be an awesome show.
The owner was watching us. He was like in the kitchen peeking out, checking us out. So I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. We were exhausted by the time that show started. And that's why
I believe it.
Tony, that's why you saw us back there by the merch, just kind of relaxing because we're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was all tired and sore, and I got crowd killed one time, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go over here.
Wait, at our show, you got crowd killed?
Yeah.
But it was for,
Which one was it?
I'm trying to remember which band it was.
I think it was during What Lies Below.
It was like the very first song. I feel like, of the first band that the crowd killing started, and we kind of moved a little bit because we're like, if this was day 1 of our concert weekend, we'd be fine. But this is day 3.
There wasn't even like a pushback, like this is the pit. Like no, he walked around front and just. I just caught an elbow straight to the chest, and I was like, "All right, I'm going."
I looked over my shoulder and I was like, "Oh, Jake's gone." You know what? I think I'm gonna go back there until Two Sides comes on stage.
They took Jake.
Yeah.
They got him. They got my boy.
I got hit one time, and I was way too tired for it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go sit down." I don't know.
Oh no!
No,
It was
that
still
was my
fun to
favorite
listen.
show. That was my favorite
was
show of
so
the whole
good,
tour
though.
by far. Like all the shows we played, like we played a lot of really cool shows on that tour. A lot of really cool places, but like by far that was my favorite show. And plus all the homies were there. It was just like a fun like hangout night, you know?
I think
See,
it was
was
What
the
Lies
la-
Below's favorite show too.
Yeah.
Was that the last time y'all played Lynchburg since the Forest Rec Center show with Archers?
Yeah. Oh,
Wait, no.
No, we had an EP release show in October there last year.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I
our
went
thing
to
with
that one.
hometown shows is like we don't want to overplay. So we only like do like one a year usually.
That makes sense.
Just because like the scene is slowly building up, but we don't want to like oversaturate.
Yeah,
And we're very careful
sure.
about like where we play and like where we choose to play. And so like if there was like a venue somewhere in Lynchburg that was just having like super cool tours through all the time, like we would play here more, but
RIP
that's
Phase
not
2.
the state. Yeah, unfortunately.
That's all like Richmond and DC. I think they all get
Say,
all
I
the
just,
really big
I feel like
tours.
I drive to Richmond every time a cool tour comes through Virginia, which is fine with me. I've gotten used to it now. But dude, if we could get another venue like Phase 2 in Lynchburg, I'd be so happy.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Like I asked Weeping Womb last night. I was like, "Hey, are you guys on the way to another tour? Maybe like you're just passing through. That's why you played here." And they were like, "No, we just wanted to play Lynchburg." And I was like,
Did they
okay,
play at
I like
Lido's?
that energy. Keep it up. No, they didn't play Lido's. It was Riverview
Riverview. Yeah.
Vinyl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I've heard of shows there. I haven't been to one yet, but I've heard they put on pretty good shows there.
But
So
yeah,
that was definitely your
keep
favorite
that
show of
energy
the
up.
tour?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It was mine. Was it yours?
Oh yeah, absolutely, hands down,
Yeah.
hands down.
I was gonna ask, but then I was like, they're gonna say Lynchburg, and that's completely fine with me.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not just saying Lynchburg because it's Lynchburg. It genuinely was like the best show of the tour. Just
the most fun show, I
yeah,
think.
it's because it had that like house show vibe to it, you know,
For sure.
Yeah.
and that's always a good time.
Did so I want to ask, I know Johnny's not here, but we kind of learned after the fact that Johnny actually was learning 2 songs for, was it Together Lost? And played drums for their first 2 songs. Because we were watching him sit there with the iPhone to his ear of the drum kit. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I don't think Two Sides is supposed to play right now. And then he fucking played those 2 songs. And I was like, dude, that's insane. That someone
Johnny
can just
was,
sit there and listen to a beat or whatever he was listening to on an iPhone and play like what seemed to be flawlessly.
Yeah, he's like that. He's that guy, you know. He's him. But no, he was busy this whole tour. He filled in for another band too in Tennessee at that show. So he was 2 for 2.
Yeah, he did that twice. Because like, I think Together Lost hit us up, or someone hit us up, and they were like, "Hey, Together Lost can't play because their drummer can't make it or something." And Johnny was like, "Oh, just like tell him I'll do it." And I was like, "Are you sure?" Because like
This was like the night before too, wasn't it? Or
something like that. Like
Yeah.
the night before. And like playing just our set is hard enough. And then he's like, "I'm gonna play more on top of that as well." And like he also plays the drums, which I think are like the hardest instrument because it's so much.
And he goes
it's like-
hard.
he goes really hard when he
yeah.
plays. So I was like, I can't. He's like powering through their set, and then he plays our entire set, which was like a 45-minute set that night or something. So I was like, wow.
Yeah,
And then he
kills
still
it,
has
man.
the energy after the show to talk to everyone and make everyone feel warm and fuzzy.
That's just Johnny.
Yeah.
That's just how
He's
he
that-
is.
He's the dude.
Yeah,
So
he's that
y'all
guy.
have played some shows with some really awesome bands, and I just wrote down a few of them. Like, and some of these I've seen, some of these I just found on your Facebook that you've played with. But Devil Wears Prada, Archers, Savage Hands, Magnolia Park, and you played Louder Than Life Fest. How do y'all look back on that and like Like, are you proud of that? Because that's insane to me. Like, I know that it, you know, it might become like normal almost for someone if you just keep doing it over and over again. But, and also, which of those bands was your favorite to play with?
I'll go first. I do think it gets normal after a while. Like, I'm always stoked on like everything we've done or accomplished or gotten to do, or just like cool opportunities. But like once you actually get there, it's like, oh, this is just like what it is.
These are just normal
and
people.
It just keeps everything just like keeps like elevating. But like at the time, like I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done, and then something even cooler happens. You'd be like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done, and then it's like, you know, so it's just like.
How many times have you said that over your career, Tony, that this is the coolest
a lot.
thing?
I say that once a week, bro. Just kidding.
He's just like that, I guess.
But also, my favorite band we've ever played with is Archers. They're my best friends, and I love them, and they're also really good. So that'd be my answer. Yeah, I forget all the bands we played with, honestly. Like hearing that, some of those names, I was like, wait, oh yeah, we did play with them.
Yeah, no. To I guess add on to what Tony's saying, I think it makes it special when we go to those shows and we play with these big bands who are way better than us, and they have all these fans, and then their fans come up to us afterwards and they're like, hey, you guys were like the coolest band on the bill. Like we're going to follow you. Like we'll come to your next show, whatever. I think that's what makes it special for me.
Yeah.
Just being like compared to some of these bands that, you know, I grew up listening to or whatever, and having people tell us that we're, you know, as good as them is really cool. But as far as my favorite band we've played with, I don't know.
Actually,
I would say Aesop.
Yep,
Yeah,
A Sense of Purpose. Yeah,
we love Archers, and they introduced us to Aesop. But the vibes that we have with A Sense of Purpose, they're just unreal.
They're my best friends, and they're also like, no joke, A Sense of Purpose is my favorite band. And
for real?
I'm best friends with them. So it's sick. We get to hang out all the time, and they're like literally my favorite band. And I tell them that too. But like on one night of the tour, we played at the Foundry in Ohio, and A Sense of Purpose was on that bill as well. So we got to see my favorite band play, then hang out with my favorite band. Then we got to play music. And then we all went to a karaoke bar.
Oh yeah, we did.
Absolutely trashed.
It was great.
All of us together.
That was the best night of my life. I keep saying that. Like that was peak for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's cool when like you are on a tour with a band, and every night that they play, you're in the crowd singing all the lyrics to their songs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're great musicians. They're great people. We just love being around them.
Yeah, you guys should definitely hit up Aesop. And they would definitely do a podcast with you or something, or just check them out because they're like sick. Like if you're hearing
I absolutely will.
Go listen to A Sense of Purpose. They are the best band.
Yeah.
They're
I
like
will
10
tell
times
you,
better than us.
Y'all, that show at Lido's turned me on to Thin the Herd, and we actually have an interview scheduled with them next week.
Hell yeah.
So,
Oh, dude, they're good. They're heavy.
yeah. I
They're
was
very
so
heavy.
bummed we didn't get to hear them play, because when I had heard them on Spotify, I was like, dude, these guys absolutely kill it. So I'm excited to talk to them a little bit.
They're
It's-
good. Yeah, they're great guys, and their music slaps. We got to see them play their first show last night.
Yeah.
And they killed it.
Yeah, so that would have been their first show at Lido's, and they had some technical difficulties, which is fine. But they played again last night, like I said earlier, and that was their first show ever. A lot of them, I think, two of them have never been in bands before.
Yeah.
So like they're writing their first music, playing their first shows ever, just as musicians, and they're killing it. Like the front man, I could tell Levi, he was just like he was getting so into it. And I was like, you got to hold on to that feeling, dude. Like I can watch them and tell that they're gonna be great.
Levi has a insane voice too. Like his screams are like so sick.
Yeah.
I boost him up all the time about that.
Yeah, he's a great vocalist.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to talk to them, and I think it's actually Levi that I've been, doing correspondence with over it. So, that's gonna be a good one. And I would have never heard of them if it wasn't for you guys. So that's crazy, just how music works.
Yeah.
A band that we really like. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're more of like a pop punk rock group, but they're called Census. And they, when Jake and I discovered them, they were like tiny, like way, way tiny. And you had found one of their songs on TikTok, I think.
Yeah.
And then next thing we know, they're opening for Stand Atlantic. And, now they're even have more shows booked with even bigger bands than that. So It's just crazy how like you can go see a show, have no care in the world about the opener, and you see them and they're like, holy shit. I mean, that's how we were with Bleed From Within when we saw them open for August Burns Red and The Devil Wears Prada. We're like, well, now we got to go see a Bleed From Within headliner.
Yeah, that's how the music game works. That's why bands take other bands out on tour, like their friends and stuff or whatever. Like that's the whole name of the game, is just getting your name out there, making new fans.
Yeah.
I like those tours that have like mixed genre bills too.
Dude, me too. Those are my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Like the Dayseeker show we went to.
Oh,
that was very mixed genre.
That was very mixed.
Who was on that?
That's Alpha
tour?
Wolf, right?
Yeah. It was Catch Your Breath, Kingdom of Giants, Alpha Wolf, and then Dayseeker. And they staggered it. So it was like heavy, softer, heavy, softer. Heavy, softer. It was cool
sick.
as fuck.
Yeah.
Did you go to that tour?
I didn't, but I think Jaylee went to one of the shows, our photographer that we had on the tour with What Lies Below. I think she's friends with Catch Your Breath.
Oh, hell yeah.
She was saying, because she came from the show in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
right?
She came from we picked her up in
At
Atlanta.
the airport. She flew from she worked with Catch Your Breath at that show in Atlanta, and then the next day flew to Indiana, and we picked her up for the first day of tour.
Oh yeah, we picked her up from India.
Oh,
but yeah,
nice.
she worked one of those shows.
That show looked. I wish I could go to that. I don't honestly go to enough shows because everything's kind of far away, and I like sitting inside on the computer a little too much. So
I work at Canal Club part-time, so I see everything.
How have I never seen you there?
he just
I'm
started
at Canal
there.
Club
Yeah.
like once a month.
I feel like, were you at what was the show? Did you go to Dying Wish or Miss May I?
I didn't go to either of those. No, the last
Okay.
Canal Club show I was at was the home team.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
yeah, I
then
missed
we're
that
going
one
to
because we were on tour.
And then we're going to see Broadside play in a few weeks.
That's their hometown, right, Richmond?
Yeah. But
That'll be cool.
that's like one of the shows I'm most hyped for is their hometown show.
But yeah, Canal Club, I played my first show with my first band there. So it's just like, it's like right up the street from my house. It's home. I know everybody that works there. It's great.
Dude, Canal Club is my home venue. I don't care that I live 2 hours away. I've had so many like magical moments in that venue. Like I think Canal Club was one of the first like true metalcore shows I saw. And I've held on to that ever since. So if a show's at the Canal Club, that just makes it even more better.
My first show ever that I ever went to, I was 19. It was a band called Gravebound, Seasons, and there were two other bands that played, but it was my first show ever. It was a local show. And then the very next day I went to see Wage War on their Pressure tour upstairs at Canal Club.
We were there.
Yep. We were
Both
there.
of us were there.
Like Moss of Flames, I think.
Dayseeker
Polaris
opened that
yeah.
show.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my second show ever.
It seems like everybody everybody from this area went to that show.
Apparently.
Anybody around it.
That's exactly how it was, because I met so many people later and they're all like, I was at that show. Everybody was there. It was sold out.
Yeah.
It was like all of Richmond.
I have stories about that show. I don't know if it's an appropriate story, but we're going to put it on here anyway. So it was me, Jake's wife, and then like, I think Justin and like 3 other friends of ours were there with us. It was the first time I had seen sexual acts happen in a crowd.
Whoa.
No, I'm not even kidding, bro. I was like, holy shit. Are my eyes like playing tricks on me right now? And it was wild, but it's one of those core memories that I don't want to be a core memory, but it's there no matter what.
Was it during Dayseeker?
It was not. No. And I've made that correlation though already on Twitter.
I was going to say, it was probably during like Polaris or something crazy.
It was. I think it was during
Yeah,
Polaris.
Polaris.
I was going to say, if it was Dayseeker, I kind of get it, but
That was the first time we saw Polaris too, or we had even heard of Polaris.
That I was gonna say I didn't even know who Polaris was until that night, and now they're like one of my
no
favorite
way,
bands.
dude. We were just talking about this
Polaris.
yesterday. Polaris is one of my favorite bands ever.
Oh, yeah.
They rip so hard.
They're so good.
I haven't seen them live yet.
I got to see them at the National with Bless the Fall last month.
Wow.
And it was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
That's sick. How was Bless the Fall? Because I know that was their
Insane.
like reunion tour, wasn't it?
No, they actually did their Hollow Bodies anniversary tour, which hit Blue Ridge Rock Fest on Thursday. So that was their first tour back. And then I think this was their second tour. And they were direct support for Polaris.
Which Blue Ridge was that?
Blue Ridge Rock Fest probably in like
2023.
2023.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
They were
only
like a
there for
last
Sunday
minute
that
edition.
time.
We were there. We were there on like whatever day where everything didn't go too bad. That's the day we were there.
See,
Yeah,
I was
the
there
one day.
on Friday,
Mhm.
and I was supposed to be there Friday and Sunday, but then Sunday got canceled. So Friday went beautifully though. So
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's when we were there. We were there whenever Archers played because they invited us to come hang out. So we just hung out that whole day.
yeah,
And,
Archers played right before Conquer Divide that day.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's when we were there. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything went pretty okay that day.
And then everything went to shit. All right, so I want to get into some things for each of you individually here.
Uh-oh.
EJ, I want to highlight
Uh-oh.
your covers that you've been posting on
Oh,
Facebook.
okay. Gas him up. Gas him up.
Yeah. Let's talk about
Because-
that.
Brother, let me tell you, you singing a Sleep Token song is like something I didn't know I needed, but I now have,
Yep.
and I need full versions.
Oh, you need full versions? Oh,
I need
don't know if I can
full
do a
fucking
full version
versions.
of any Sleep Token song. I chose that specific section that I did because it was like the least terrifying to attempt.
Well, it sounded great, man. Like, and
Thank
keep
you
it
so
up.
much.
That
you.
being said, I need you to argue with my co-host now because he doesn't like Sleep Token, and I bully him on it for every single
It was
time.
for the meme. I did it for the meme.
No, you actually don't like them.
I didn't say I didn't like them. I just
Look.
don't listen to them.
You got to.
That's fine. No, it's valid. You know, like there can't be a band.
Don't
with
tell
a-
me you're a Sleep Token hater.
No, I love Sleep Token, but there cannot be a band in the world that just everyone universally loves. It just doesn't
That's
exist.
true.
So like,
Yeah.
it's to each their own. You know, I get
called it a
It's-
lot of. I called it a lot of things.
Yes, you did. The Billie
What are
Eilish
some
of
of the
metal.
things you
Yeah,
called
Billie
it?
Eilish metal. That's what I call it.
Actually, that's pretty accurate. I
What
think.
does Jared call it? He calls it praise and worship metal or something
Yeah.
like that. Something like that. Hail song metal or something.
Yeah, that's
It's. I mean, their whole thing is like the worship thing, right?
Yeah.
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 it's-
I don't know, dude. They
It's
make
the
me
best
feel
thing to
things.
come out of music in like the last 10 years.
Whoa.
it's true.
And no, it's
I-
not a whoa. That is true. That is a fact.
I will say it is definitely the most unique band I have heard of in a very long time, and I don't know.
I'll
I
give
don't
you
know.
unique.
They
for
just
sure.
they're one of those bands for me. Like
Yeah.
me and my roommate when the album, the Blue Album with the Atlantic on it, when that dropped, we sat in his room with the lights off at 12 a.m. or whenever it came out, and we just listened to the whole album front to back, and it was like one of the best nights of my life. Just the amount of emotions going through when you listen to a Sleep Token record is just
So-
unmatched.
My
Oh.
first time listening to a Sleep Token
glazing.
record. My first time listening to a Sleep Token record was Take Me Back to Eden. And
Mine too.
I had heard Alkaline and like a couple singles before that, but like you said, I didn't have the lights off, but I remember I was sitting on my bed with like I got my nice in-ears and everything. I was ready. I wanted to experience that album. And I remember being like, fuck. I didn't know like a band could get this much emotion out of me, like just sitting here listening to a record. And I don't think I'd had that reaction since like Under Oath when they got me into music in like 2009, 2008.
Same.
So
It was
just one of
the-
those.
It was like
ahead.
the same thing for me. Sorry. It was like taking me back to the first time I listened to like, I don't know, like A Day to Remember or like Pierce the Veil or something. Some
Yeah.
like way less dramatic band, but it was the same vibe. It was something new. It was like, where can I get more of this? You can't because it's only Sleep Token that sounds like that. But yeah,
And to
it's
know
just,
that they
you
could
got to
just-
listen to Sundowning.
I love that album. I love.
You've
so
listened to it?
that,
Okay.
That's the record with Bloodsport, the piano version of it. That song is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Best Sleep Token song, hands down.
All right, we can stop talking about Sleep Token now. Let's talk about Two Sides of Me. No, but I did just want to highlight your covers, and I wrote down a few that I thought were very notable that I listened to earlier today. Sleep Token, Your A Day to Remember cover was not expected, but it fucked. I fucking love
thank
that
you.
shit.
What'd you
and
cover
then,
by them again?
If I Leave, it's off
it
the
old?
album
It's a
that I
deep
have
cut.
the tattoo of.
I like that album.
Hourglass.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite A Day to Remember albums.
Yeah, it's my favorite of all time too. A Day to Remember, when I first started getting into this music, was my favorite band. Like
Oh,
to
really?
this day.
Okay.
I mean, they've strayed from the path a little bit, but we're gonna bring it back soon.
Hey, Miracle came out last year.
Yeah, and then
there's hope.
and then that album came out, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, I like that album.
That's the thing. It wasn't a
I liked
bad
it.
album. It was a great album. It just wasn't like in A Day to Remember album, I think.
Right.
But
I'm going to see
they were
them
my favorite
tomorrow,
band.
and they are playing Feedback, which might be a bathroom break. But besides that, I'm going to have a good time. It's my wife's first time going to a metalcore show besides Ice Nine Kills with me tomorrow, and I was like, it's got to be A Day to Remember, because she's like a horror movie fan, so I don't really count that because she was already going to like it no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that
and then-
should be way less intense than Ice Nine Kills, right? A Day to
Probably.
Remember.
Yes,
More
for
vibe,
sure.
more like vibey sing along stuff going on too.
Yeah. And then your Clever cover by Beartooth was also fucking great.
Thank you so
Another-
much.
I
man.
love that
didn't
you
even
do
know
some
you covered
deep
all these
cuts.
things.
Yeah, it's I very much will only cover a song if I like it. Like I don't do the whole like cover the newest thing that comes out. It's just if I'm listening to a song and I'm like, yo, this is about to make me cry, I'm doing a cover of it. That's like my whole approach to it. But I kind of just use it as a way to practice singing because I want to sing more in Two Sides of Me, which we're working on. But I don't have a background in singing whatsoever. So that's just my way to like practice and like make it fun for myself.
Oh yeah.
I also have a log of like, me getting better. So
Well, definitely keep it up. Keep those covers coming out because I promise you I'll watch every single one of them.
thank you so much.
I also do like that you do like that you're focused more on the clean vocals with those covers too, because I think it does offer another side to you that Two Sides fans might not know about.
A third side?
yeah.
Third
A
side.
third side, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I grew up on like pop punk and stuff, so that's kind of the route I've been going with the covers lately. Is like those kinds of like post-hardcore pop punk stuff. I might still do like a metalcore thing every once in a while, but definitely it's more singing focused for me. That's what I want to work on. So
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Four
sings on a
cover
lot of
win.
the new stuff.
I do, yeah, I do sing on a lot of the new stuff.
Do you sing on the song that Tony's gonna leak to us?
I do, yeah.
Do you?
Not the chorus, but
Oh yeah, you sing in the pre-chorus and there's like this whole bridge and he just like R&B's that shit. It's sick.
yeah.
Speaking
getting
of
there.
singing,
Yeah. Speaking of singing, we're gonna shift over to you, Tony, for a second because
Okay.
your cleans have come a long way.
whole like
Thank you.
night and day difference, bro. You sound so good.
Thank you, man. It's that auto-tune, bro. It's just got a better auto-tune subscription.
He
I
learned
don't
how to
know.
mix better.
It's the mixing that got better, not the vocals.
Oh, damn.
Nah.
Thank you. I had to, when Joe left the band in 2019, I was like, I have to sing because I was like the only one in the band who could like hold a pitch. And so I was kind of like thrown into it, but like I feel like I've grown a lot because I've like taken it more seriously and I actually like tried to be a good singer. So it's nice to hear people say like, hey, good job. And I'm like, hey, thanks.
I
It
think
means
the
a lot.
musical direction has changed too, which has allowed for a lot more singing
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But
I feel like specifically
Studio-
on Follow You to Into the Grave, that was the one
Yeah.
where I heard, I was like, okay, no, it wasn't just a fluke that he sounded good or amazing on the last song. It's trajecting up. Like,
Yeah.
it's gotten better.
Thank
And then
you.
when we heard you sing live too, it sounded great.
I'm glad to hear that. No, the live performance studio is one thing. I have written songs and then gone to play them live and been like, okay, this is way harder than doing it in the studio. And then it's like, well, you already wrote it, you already put it out, so it's like you have to play it. So I've now like taken a step back and been like, I need to like, if I'm gonna put a vocal on a song, I need to be able to sing it live. If I can't do it well, or if I can't do it well, like I'll just practice the shit out of it until I can pull it off. But there was
So
like
how do you
our
practice
song.
for that? Like, how do you figure that out in not a live setting?
Well, it's kind of like when we're writing it, like I'll experiment and I know my voice, I know my like limits, and I'll be like, okay, that's going to be really hard to do live. Like I'm going to like miss it or I'm going to like sound weird. I'll know if I can like do something every night or not. Usually like, cause we'll like just be spitballing, melodies and stuff.
Yeah. Do you practice like outside of band practice?
I mean, I sing all day. Like I sing in my car all the time. I just sing like all day. And I feel like that's how I even like was able to sing in the first place. It's just because like I've always just
Done it.
if I'm like home alone, I'm like singing like full volume just to whatever song's playing in my head.
Yeah, you always got to
Practicing all the time, 24/7 practice.
You got to find your, like you said, you're finding your limits, so you can just push yourself when you're by yourself in your car and be like, oh, can't do that one.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
Where
yeah.
you can and can't do.
but it's definitely one of those things where it's like the more you do it, the better you'll get. So it's just like a muscle that you have to work out, you know?
It literally is a muscle. Yeah. So.
I was gonna say I've heard it compared to sports too, and the thing that comes to my head just because I'm a basketball fan is how many 3-pointers does Steph Curry take a day just practicing?
Yeah.
It's like something crazy like 10,000 a day or something like that, or 5,000 a day. Some shit.
I think people don't think about the fact that you will mess up way more than you will be successful, but that's just part of the process. Like think about how many 3-pointers Steph Curry misses when he's practicing. You know what I mean? People don't think about that. They think he's just like throwing buckets every single time.
We had to miss a million to like, be able to not miss
Yeah, like he at one point was not as good at basketball as he is right now. You know what I mean? Like it's just part of the journey. So if you want to sing and you try and you suck, you know, it is what it is. You keep going. You keep it moving, you know?
So I have a fun question for both of you, and it does involve vocals. What is your favorite 2-side vocal part to do live, and what is the hardest 2-side vocal part to do live? And I'll do cleans for either of you or screams, whatever you want to say.
I think you know my answer, but there's this for the hardest one to do, there's this line in the chorus of Elegy. If you know the part I'm talking about, it's like, and excuse me, because I'm sick right now, so I actually can't get up there, but it's like,
I feel that.
And it was like way up there. And my voice used to crack. When we first started playing that song, like I would voice crack every time I went for that note.
Oh, I remember.
I had to like really work on being able to sing that live because I would watch videos back of myself and I was like I would cringe so hard. And so I was like, I'm not going to put myself through that again. So no more notes that high. And I just had to like really practice that part.
I think that
was like part of that learning curve of not writing parts that you can't do live or don't want to do live.
Yeah, I was in the studio. I was like, oh, this is sick. And then we went to play it for the first time live, and I was like, oh no.
I knew when you said that you have to like make sure you can sing a part before you put it in a song.
Yeah.
I knew you were talking about Elegy.
Yeah, you live and you learn, you know?
Yeah.
Song still rips, so it's okay.
What about your favorite part in a 2-side song?
Favorite part vocally? I really like the new chorus in Follow You. I really enjoy singing that one. It's very vibey, and I feel like we kind of like
just flow into it.
In the song, like I sing the whole chorus, but live there's like a vocal that overlaps, so we trade off and he takes a line. And so it's really fun because he's also like getting more singing time and stuff as well. Yeah. So I'd say I think that might be my favorite.
And one comment I just wanted to make real quick about that song since you brought it up. I meant to say it at the beginning of the episode. My weekly Under Oath reference is about to come out. Just a warning for you. But I do feel like y'all's vocal style, like the back and forth on that song, is very reminiscent of like Lost in the Sound of Separation to Find the Great Lion Under Oath era, where they would trade off back and forth. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love that song so much, is because it just brings me back, but like in a current modern day way. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Yeah. I like to, we generally like do a lot of like vocal sharing. Like I'll take screams in the song. He'll take singing in the song. Like it could be whatever. There's no rules, you know?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think it's just kind of like because there's no, outside of like some of the choruses, there's not really any singing parts where it's like, oh, Tony has to do this because I can't hit this note, or EJ has to do this because I can't, whatever. It's just like, you want to sing here? Sure. Or just, whatever. Like the chorus is a little more of a intentional trade-off thing, especially live. And then like you got the screams that come after it, but it's just kind of like, we just fill it out. It's like, you want to sing or do you want to sing?
Yeah.
So.
And then what about you, EJ, for least or hardest part to do vocally and favorite part to do vocally?
I would say the hardest part to do vocally is for sure the line that I do and Follow You to the Grave. That's one of the examples where it's like, I didn't sing the chorus obviously because I don't have that range, but knowing that I like had to lock in and do it live, I practiced it a whole bunch. So now I can kind of like comfortably do it, but it is still, it's a 50-50 every single time I go to sing it. Is my voice going to crack? Is it going to come out weird? So
I would say that like your hardest part would probably be like somewhere in Parasite, because the song Parasite's like so energetic.
Oh, it's fast.
And the vocals are like duh 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 duh, like it never stops. So he's just like, that is a workout.
I can do it though. It's just like in Parasite, it's so energetic. I want to run around the stage while I'm singing. But then if I do that, I can't do all the vocals because that song is just chopped full of vocals. But I know that I can do it if I like, reserve myself a little bit. But as far as Follow You, it's just, like I said, it's 50-50. You know what I mean? Like, are you going to get it or am I going to miss it? So sometimes I'll just scream it if I'm like, if we're like a couple days into the tour and, my voice is feeling kind of weird, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
As far as my favorite song, I would probably say either Parasite or Chemicals. Obviously, Chemicals has the Who, which is fun.
Who?
Yeah.
Makes me feel like a tough guy.
Yeah.
And then Parasite is just heavy. I don't know. I kind of just vibe with the lyrics in Parasite more. I like that kind of energy in metal songs, like the angry, whatever. So I just get into it, I guess. Like the I'll Watch You Rot. I'll be saying that with my whole chest.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's sick. Yeah, well, we didn't notice any voice cracking or anything like that when we saw you guys do any of those songs you just talked about. So now, granted, it was insanely loud in that venue, but that was kind of part of the energy. So
yeah,
it's a small place. It's a small room. There's not. Really
we looked at the speakers and then we looked at the size of the room and we're like, oh yeah, this is about to be fucking loud.
Yeah, for anybody listening, if you ever go to a show, make sure you bring ear protection because it will catch up with you.
I'm very avid on hearing protection. Like even when I'm at a show, like I have things in all the time.
There's that mom in you coming out again, Tony.
Plus I'm a producer, and if I want to do this for more than 10, 20, 30 years, like I have to preserve my hearing because that's like how you produce,
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, if your ears, something happens to your ears, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Like two sides of me is cooked.
Do your in-ear monitors help protect like your ears while you're actually playing?
Yeah, they block out like I'd say like 80-90% of the noise. Depends on which ones you have, but like mine like will really isolate. It's like you're holding your palms over your ears. And then but depending on like how loud the show is, it'll still get a good bit of it coming through.
Yeah, specifically with small rooms. So like Lido's was one of those shows where it was like everything was louder than what my in-ear mix was doing. So I just, at one point I just took them out, you know what I mean? But depending on the size of the venue, I think too.
Yeah.
And whatever the sound guys got going on.
How close I am to the drum set, essentially.
Yeah. That's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a question about when you guys play shows, are you ever amazed by how many people actually know the lyrics and sing along?
Yeah. And also,
like, especially when you play home shows.
Well, our show is very like interactive. Like we make it a point to be like as much crowd interaction as possible. Try to make the audience like feel like they didn't just stand there and watch us play a song for 30, 40 minutes. Like we try to like get them involved. We'll do chants, sing-alongs, mosh pits. Like we'll get in the crowd. We'll mess with people. Like we just try to make it as much of an experience as possible, and not just like I'm going to listen to music. Like I'm going to be at a show.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of bands forget that it is a show. It's not just show up and play your songs. It's a whole thing. You go to like a play or like a theater show or like you go watch Rocky Horror or something, you know what I mean? Like it's an interactive thing. Everyone's part of it. So we try to make it a little more theatrical.
But yeah, it's always sick when people are like, if anyone knows if anyone even knows us, I'm like, oh, that is crazy. But like, yeah, like anyone at the show who's like, I see them like singing the lyrics. I'm like, how do you know these lyrics?
Yeah. It's cool. It's definitely cool. We have parts in the set where we'll literally teach the crowd lyrics too, so that they can sing along. Yeah. Like we do that for White Noise, like the chant. Obviously, White Noise is said 36 times in that song. So
yeah,
they know. Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about your Chinese fire drill too.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we did do that at the Lynchburg show.
Yeah, you told us a little
That's
bit
where
about
you
it
like
after the
we all
show.
switch instruments.
Oh,
Yeah, we've done that a couple times. It's kind of like random, like maybe like because for the Lynchburg shows specifically, I think we talked about it, but we never like rehearsed it. And then like right before we went on stage, I don't remember who it was, but someone's like, "Hey, we're all gonna switch instruments during Elegy." And
I think it was
like,
Johnny, wasn't it?
yeah, like literally like as the intro track was playing, he was like, "Hey,
I
we're gonna
love it.
switch instruments." I was like, "Okay," and I forget that it's happening, and then
Yeah.
like I saw them all like, whoosh, whoosh, and I was like, "Oh shit." Usually I will jump on the drums. Johnny will take my guitar. Jared and Shane will switch instruments, but EJ will stay on vocals. But I was coming off of a broken hand injury, so I couldn't really like hold a drumstick and play the drums. So we threw EJ on the drum set. I took the mic and screamed it, but I don't have his vocals in my ears, so I couldn't hear myself at all when we did that. So I was like just screaming my lungs out.
I could
Like
hear
I
you.
hope this sounds good.
I could hear
I
you
mean,
loud
it
and
was-
clear in my ears.
It was pretty good. I mean,
Dude, yeah.
it sounded pretty rehearsed. Not gonna lie.
No.
Yeah,
It actually was not
the
really
first
rehearsed.
the first time they ever did that, it was a surprise to me. So I think that's why I didn't switch and take
Yeah.
anything. It was, we played a show at the Canal Club in Richmond, and we hadn't practiced because obviously I live 3 hours away. So they had all practiced a bunch and rehearsed it, and then did it at the show without me knowing that it was happening. And it made like for a really cool moment. We got a video of it, and it went like super viral. But it was just, I think that's why I don't usually take anything, because I was never a part of it, or I wasn't supposed to be in the know about it.
Yeah, it
I
was
just
fun
think
though.
that's just such a cool thing that y'all should definitely keep going.
I was gonna say,
It's so good.
when y'all blow up and you're like on the same level as like Wage War and all those bands, that is something you need to continue, because that is like, that should be y'all's signature thing forever.
It's so
Thank you.
good.
That's a good idea.
We usually only whip it out for like special occasions, like hometown show, or if it's like one of those shows where it's just like just want to goof around and have fun. Like,
Yeah.
we'll pull that one out of the bag.
But yeah, Tony, you look like you were going off when you grabbed that mic, man. I don't think I'd ever seen you went like Super Saiyan, like
Thank you.
for that part.
Bro, I've been training my whole life just to be a frontman for 30 seconds. I was like,
I was gonna say,
let me
you
get
should
up
have
there.
seen him at karaoke in Ohio. He sang, what did you sing?
Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card.
fuck
It was
yeah.
a whole like frontman moment. He wasn't
I
just
had
singing
the crowd,
thing.
and I was like, if I could, and they were like having the crowd like sing the whole.
Yeah,
like,
he would be like,
chorus.
I need your help on this chorus. And then the whole, like, everybody in the bar would start singing the chorus. It
in a
was,
karaoke bar in Ohio on
Yeah.
a Thursday night.
he
That's
very
sick.
much took it to heart.
was
They gave him
fun.
that microphone. They fucked up.
Yeah.
It was sick.
That's awesome.
I feel like that's such a cool moment though, going to a random karaoke bar as a band. Like knowing that you
it's a
can
whole lot of fun.
pick a
It's
song
n-
and sing it.
It is not at all the same, bro. When
I know.
we get on stage, like I'm so comfortable, like I don't get nervous or anything. When I got in front of the karaoke bar crowd, I was like, "Oh shit! Like this is scary."
Well, yeah, because they don't know you're in a band. They don't know that you kind of know what you're doing. They don't know like any of that stuff. They're just like,
It's
okay,
just a different environment, you know.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
very
That's awesome.
humbling
You got a
experience.
reaction from the crowd.
Oh yeah, we were. Well, I was also pretty intoxicated, but we made it. It was a good time.
It was a great
I need
time,
this
yeah.
filmed next time, by the way.
It was filmed.
I have videos.
He has a
I have
video.
videos of it.
Guys, I know that we're just about out of time. I just wanted to, again, thank you guys for joining us today and talking about everything. What do you guys have going on? Tell our listeners what's next. Tell them where to find your stuff, your merch, shows you got coming up. Anything you want to share?
Well, you can find like our links just in the bios of any of our socials, like Two Sides of Me VA. It's usually like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. We have a Discord. We have lots of, you can find us anywhere. We have a website, buy merch. We have a new hoodie coming out. It's probably going to be announced. We're probably going to like put it on sale this week.
Yeah.
So I don't know when this is
Hell
coming out, but we also have a song coming out November 22nd called You're the Devil. You should definitely check that out when it drops, or if this is, already out, then go listen to it now.
Yep. We also will be playing a show at the Canal Club on December 13th.
Christmas show.
Yeah, Savage Hands.
Hell yeah.
If not for me, except for tomorrow, and one or two other bands that have not been announced yet. So,
Fuck yeah. Well, I think we should try to go to that one for sure.
Oh yeah.
I almost didn't you all play a show recently in Charlottesville? I feel like
was it Magnolia Park? Wait, no,
think
was
so.
That was in Greensboro.
That was Greensboro.
I don't know.
I don't
I
think
felt
we played
like I missed
Charlottesville.
a Charlottesville show in the last few months, and I felt bad about it because I wanted to be there, but I had something come up.
We did play. We did Greensboro, and then there was another part of North Carolina we played in earlier in the year with Savage Hands. Remember?
That was also Greensboro, I think.
Was it really? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greensboro.
Yeah.
So December 13th, Canal Club. If you're in the Virginia area, go. You enjoy the venue, enjoy the bands.
Is there?
But we'll wrap there. Thank you guys again, and you've been listening to Virginia's best metalcore act, and go check out all their shit.
Thank you.
Thank you guys
Do
so
your
much.
do your Markiplier outro, Jake.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.